Imagine your charity showing up right at the top of Google when someone searches for the exact cause you work on. A family looking for help, a person wanting to volunteer, a donor deciding where to give, and imagine not paying a cent for those clicks. That is the promise behind the Google Ad Grant, one of the most useful and most misunderstood tools available to nonprofits online. In the next few minutes, we will unpack what the ad grant actually is, who can roughly qualify, what it is genuinely good for, and the catch that nobody warns you about. One honest note before we start, this channel is educational only. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by Google. This is not an official Google channel, and nothing here is legal or compliance advice. The program, the figures, and the eligibility rules are all set by Google, and they change over time. So please treat everything in this video as background and always verify the current details on Google for nonprofits, which you will find at google.com/nonprofits before you act. What the ad grant is. So let us define it plainly. The Google Ad Grant is a program offered through Google for nonprofits that gives eligible charities access to free search advertising on Google. In practical terms, that means when someone types a relevant query into Google, your organization can appear in the sponsored results near the top of the page, and Google covers the cost of those ads rather than you paying for them out of your own budget. It is commonly described as providing up to 10,000 United States dollars per month of in-kind search advertising. I want to be careful with that figure because it is set by Google and it can change, so please hear it as commonly described rather than guaranteed. The important idea is simple. This is a way for a small cause with a small budget to have real visibility on the biggest search engine in the world, in the moments when people are actively looking for what you do. Free search ads, not cash. Here is the single most important thing to understand, and the thing people get wrong most often. The ad grant is not money in your bank account. You do not receive a check and you cannot spend it on staff, on rent, on programs, or on anything else you might wish. What you receive is advertising credit, and only for one specific thing: text-based ads that appear in Google search results. Think of it less like a donation and more like a sponsored megaphone. Google is effectively saying, we will show your message to people searching on Google, up to a certain value each month, at no cash cost to you. That distinction matters enormously, because it shapes everything about how you use the grant. You are not being handed funds to allocate. You are being handed reach, and reach is only valuable if you have somewhere worthwhile to send the people who clicks, who can roughly qualify. So who is this for? In broad terms, the ad grant is aimed at registered, validated charities and non-profit organizations that meet Google's eligibility requirements. The usual shape of it is that you must first be accepted into Google for non-profits, which typically involves confirming your charitable status through a validation process and then applying for the ad grant specifically. Google also excludes certain types of organizations. Governmental bodies, hospitals and healthcare organizations, and schools, universities and academic institutions are commonly described as not eligible for this particular program, though some of them may have other Google programs open to them. I am deliberately not going to recite a full checklist because the exact eligibility rules, the countries covered, and the excluded categories are all defined by Google and they change. The spirit of it is this: it is built for genuine, mission-driven nonprofits, and the precise qualifying conditions are something you must confirm on Google for nonprofits rather than assume from a video. What it is good for. Now the encouraging part. What the ad grant is genuinely good for. At its heart, it is a way to send more of the right people to your website. If someone searches for a term connected to your cause, your ad can appear. They click and they land on a page you control. From there, the possibilities are exactly the ones that matter most to a charity. You can send people to a donation page so those actively looking to give can find you. You can send them to a volunteer sign-up page so willing helpers can raise their hand. You can send them to a page that explains a service you offer so the people who need your help actually reach it. And you can send them to educational content that builds awareness and trust in your mission over time. The grant does not do the persuading for you. What it does is put your website in front of people at the exact moment they are searching, and then it is your pages, your words, and your calls to action that do the real work. Now the catch, and this is the part nobody warns you about when they tell you about the free $10,000. The ad grant comes with ongoing rules you have to follow to keep it, and they are stricter than the rules for ordinary paid advertising. While the exact requirements are set by Google and change, they are commonly described along these lines. Your account has to be structured in a particular way with a proper campaign setup rather than a single lazy ad. You are generally expected to maintain a minimum click-through rate, which means a certain percentage of the people who see your ad must actually click it. And if you fall below that over time, your account can be paused. You are usually required to have conversion tracking in place so that Google can see the clicks are leading to meaningful actions and not just idle browsing. And the whole thing has to be genuine, mission-based use, not keyword stuffing or trying to game the system. None of that is a reason to avoid the grant. It is simply the honest truth that it is a managed program with standards, not a free gift you can set up once and forget. It takes ongoing work, which leads to the expectation I most want to set honestly. Using the ad grant well takes real ongoing work. It is not a switch you flip. Someone has to research the words people actually search when they are looking for your cause. Write ads that are clear and relevant. Build landing pages worth sending people to. And then keep an eye on the account, pausing what is not working and improving what is. Because of the minimum click-through rate and the other standards, an ad grant account that is set up and then abandoned will often quietly stop performing or get paused, and the organization is left wondering why their free ads did nothing. The charities that get real value from this are the ones that treat it like a small, ongoing marketing responsibility, even just a few focused hours a month. If you have someone, a staff member, a dedicated volunteer, or a supporter with a little digital know-how who can own it, the grant can genuinely punch above its weight. If nobody owns it, it tends to fade. Let us make this concrete with a made-up illustration, because the idea can feel abstract. Picture a small local charity that runs a food support program in one town. Right now, the people who need them find them mostly by word of mouth, and donations trickle in from a handful of loyal supporters. With an ad grant account set up properly, when a nearby resident searches for something like help with food in their area, the charity's ad can appear. The person clicks, and they land on a clear page explaining how to get help and how to refer someone. When a local resident searches for a way to give back, a different ad can point them to a simple donate or volunteer page. Notice the pattern. The grant did not create the need or the goodwill, those already existed. What it did was connect the searching person to the charity at the right moment, using words the charity chose and pages the charity built. That is the whole game, and it works best when the setup is thoughtful and maintained. How to apply and stay compliant. So how do you actually move forward? The sensible sequence looks like this. First, start on the official program Google for Nonprofits at google.com/nonprofits and read the current eligibility requirements for yourself rather than relying on second-hand summaries. Second, get your organization verified and accepted into Google for Nonprofits, which usually means confirming your charitable status through their validation process. Third, once you are in, apply for the ad grant specifically and set up your advertising account following their required structure. Fourth, and this is the part people skip, build it properly from the start with focused campaigns, relevant keywords, honest ads, real landing pages, and conversion tracking so you meet the ongoing standards rather than scrambling later. I want to be clear about a few things. We cannot apply on your behalf, we cannot get anyone approved, and nobody can honestly guarantee that you will qualify or that the ads will bring in donations or volunteers. What you can do is prepare well, apply through the proper official route, and commit to using it genuinely, which is entirely in your hands. Quick recap, let us pull it together. The Google Ad Grant is a program through Google for Nonprofits that gives eligible charities free search advertising, commonly described as up to 10,000 United States dollars a month, so your cause can appear when people search for relevant terms. Remember that it is free search ads, not a cash grant, so its whole value lies in sending the right people to your website to donate, to volunteer, or to learn. It is broadly aimed at registered, validated nonprofits that meet Google's eligibility, with some organization types excluded. And it comes with a genuine catch: ongoing compliance rules like account structure, a minimum click-through rate, conversion tracking, and genuine mission-based use, plus the real, ongoing work of running it well. Because the figures and the rules are set by Google and change, the live details always come from Google for Nonprofits, never from memory. Here's the honest bottom line. The UP grant is one of the best deals in non-profit marketing, but only for the causes that treat it as a tool to be worked, not a prize to be claimed. Nothing in this video is a promise that you qualify or that the UDs will deliver a single donation, and none of it is legal or compliance advice. When you are ready, go to Google for nonprofits at google.com/nonprofits, read the current rules with your own eyes, and decide whether your organization has someone who can give it the small, steady attention it needs to pay off. If this made the ad grant clearer, subscribe for practical charity marketing you can actually use, and we will keep turning the tools that can grow your cause into plain English, one video at a time.